Hey Tauruses, I'm Drea with Abundant Life Divination, and this reading is going to focus all on self-love. So let's jump right on in and start by pulling a couple of oracle cards to see what energy is surrounding this reading for you guys. What do we have first for our Taurus collective? And we have two that came out. The first card that we have for you is Virtue. You acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. And we also have Humility. You have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are the same, but on different paths. So we'll set those to the side and pull another oracle card. See what else is going on with self-love for my Taurus collective. What else is surrounding my Tauruses for this reading? Okay, that one jumped on out. And we have Purification. So what this feels like for a lot of my Tauruses out there is that you have been through some experiences that may have sort of humbled you a little bit, that have made you look at yourself a little differently in sort of the path that you're on. It feels like a time of cleansing for you, where you're almost starting to be reborn in your journey of self-love, and you're starting to recognize the gifts that you have, not just to offer other people, but to offer yourself as well. So it almost feels like, Tauruses, there's a fresh start that's waiting here for you. After you've been through, I think, quite a journey of self-exploration and self-realization, you're now getting to a place where it's like, okay, I've learned my lessons. I've acknowledged a few things that maybe I could have done differently. I see the world through fresh eyes. I'm giving myself a clean slate. So let's get into some tarot and see what else is going on in your self-love journey for my Taurus collective. And the first card out is how you see yourself. And we have the Sun in reverse. So for a lot of you Tauruses out there, I feel like at some point in time, and I think in the fairly recent past, that you looked at yourself as, you're not happy, that there are some things that may be lacking in you, that you may be, you may have asked yourself some questions like, well, what's wrong with me? Or what am I missing? Or why can't I have this? Or why can't I do that? It seemed like there was a bit of a dark cloud that was hanging over you, that you just weren't particularly feeling the best. But we also have the Queen of Chalices. And I think that that's where the struggle might have come in for you Tauruses, because the Queen of Chalices, it's someone who has so much goodness to offer, that they have so much love inside of them. Perhaps it was misdirected. Perhaps it was spent on the wrong people. Perhaps there was not enough being given to you. So I almost feel, Taurus, is that you were so focused on everybody else that you forgot to fill your own cup. And maybe what you were giving to other people wasn't reciprocated back to you. And it put you in a state of thinking, well, maybe I don't deserve it. Maybe there's something wrong with me. And I actually don't think that that's the case at all. So looking at why you haven't prioritized yourself up to this point in this process, why haven't my Tauruses prioritized themselves? We have the Knight of Swords that came out for you. So again, I almost feel like this is the byproduct of other people who have been very fickle. The Knight of Swords is a very unstable, wishy-washy, quick in and out type of energy. And so I feel like other people's behaviors, you sort of internalize them a little bit, and you were so focused on getting them aligned with you that you forgot to stay in alignment with yourself. So you really spent, I think, a good amount of your own energy trying to fix other people. And we have two more that came out. We have the World, and we also have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is a very combative energy, right? And with the World, that's sort of a new beginning. That represents the end of a cycle, something new that's starting for you. And I feel almost that for these folks who were in your life, you were fighting so hard for change within them that you didn't necessarily focus too much on yourself. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that it came from a good place for a lot of you, where you wanted good things to come out of your interaction with this other person or other people, but you lost yourself in the process. So how can you show yourself now that you're worthy, now that you have sort of learned these lessons and you're ready for a clean slate? How can you show yourself that you're worthy? How can Tauruses let themselves know that they are worthy? So we have the Five of Wands, and we also have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So for me, these cards are symbolizing the fact that you might need to hold yourself back a little bit. These two cards seem to come together in a way that says you're going to have to defend your energy, right? With the Queen of Pentacles being in reverse, when it's upright, this is all about giving. This is all about sort of material goods, stability, all of that good stuff. You were trying to give that to other people and not yourself. So what these two cards are telling me is that you can sort of show that you are worthy to yourself by dialing back your energy a little bit from people who don't deserve it, from people who have shown you that, yeah, you all are, you're the same, but you're on different paths. And there's nothing that you can do to force anybody else to be on your path. You're going to exhaust yourself trying to do that. So with these cards, showing yourself that you're worthy is preserving some of that energy and those gifts for yourself. Now, being more authentic. How can you show up in your life more authentically? We have the Knight of Wands. This is rediscovering your passions, those things in life that made you happy. So where you're coming out of this energy with the Sun in reverse, but knowing that you have a lot of good things to offer this world, what is it that makes you happy? Because funneling all of your energy, your time, your effort, your emotions into other people as opposed to yourself did not seem to do that, especially when it wasn't given back to you. So showing up more authentically is living in a way that excites you, that brings that spark back that you may have lost for a little while. Really truly thinking about what moves your soul. What is it that makes your heart sing? And how do you get back to that place? And once you do figure out what that is, how is it that you can stay there? We also have that followed up by the Ace of Wands in reverse, and we have the Two of Pentacles. This combination here says to me that it's time for you to find that balance in terms of moving forward, finding this new beginning. So you don't have to sort of jump into it right now, right? I don't think that you as a person, Taurus, are going to stop caring about people. I don't think that that's in your nature. But what this is saying is that you need to figure out a way to be able to care for people, sometimes from a distance. It's about finding that balance between protecting yourself, preserving some of your energy, and having a little bit more discernment about who that energy goes to outside of yourself. Now, something that you need to let go of. What is it that my Tauruses need to let go of? We have the Ace of Chalices in reverse, or Ace of Chalices upright, and we have Judgment in reverse. You're going to have to be okay, I think, sometimes with not getting the response from people that you actually are looking for. And that's not to say that they're a bad person. That's not to say that they're against you. It just means that at this particular point, you are aligned. So having these feelings, having this sort of concern in your heart, wanting to look out for other people, sometimes you're going to have to let that go if it's not something that they want. Funnel that energy back into yourself, because that's the only way that you are going to remain mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically healthy. Now, something that you should acknowledge in this journey of self-love, we have the Four of Pentacles. This again speaks to these two cards here, this idea of holding back a little bit. And so the Four of Pentacles in traditional tarot, it has, a person sitting down and they're kind of hugging this pentacle. They're keeping it close to themselves. So something that you might have to acknowledge on this journey, Taurus, is that it's okay to hold some of yourself back from other people if it means that you have more to give to you. It's okay. Like there's nothing in the rules that says you can't take care of yourself first. It's that old saying, right? You can't pour from an empty vessel. Hold some things back for you. And yes, with the Five of Cups, there might be some thoughts of, well, what if this was different, or what could have been, or you can acknowledge your feelings of being a little bit sad that whoever else is on the other end of the gifts that you have weren't necessarily ready for them. They didn't want them, whatever the case may be. It's okay to have those feelings, but understand that once you realize you're not in alignment with the people around you, that it's okay to pull back your energy into yourself. Now let's see what little message your spirit guides have for you. What message did the spirit guides have for my Taurus collective here? We have the Magician in reverse. There's a sense, Taurus, that you are not using all of the gifts that you have to benefit yourself. And I feel like Spirit is saying right now that it's time to change that. Remember, the very first card that we have that came out was Virtue, and acknowledging all of your wonderful spiritual attributes and gifts. And so Spirit is saying that now's the time to start using it. You have sort of been limiting yourself for entirely too long, acknowledging the wonderful person that you are, and I understand that can be difficult when you are dealing with people who don't necessarily appreciate who you are and what you have to offer in that moment, but it's there for you. And we also have the Three of Wands. This is your ships coming in. This is sort of, waiting and seeing what's out there, these good things coming towards you. It's a matter of time, but you're going to have to make that choice as to where you want to put your energy, where you want to put your focus. And in honoring yourself, I think that my Tauruses out there are going to start pulling that energy back into themselves. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.